I'm sure everyone has had a pet fish before, and maybe even a betta fish. I've had some really bad experiences with betta fish when I was younger, so I decided to do a lot of research about betta fish before getting the ones I have now. So today I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I learned about betta fish. First, I'll start off with the history of betta fish, and then I'll tell you the different types of betta fish, and lastly, I'll tell you some facts about betta fish. We'll be betta get started. Let's talk about the history of betta fish. The betta fish got their name from an ancient warrior clan called the Bettas. They thought this name was fitting because of their aggressiveness, like warriors, but towards other fish. People would place bets on the betta fish fights to see which one would come out the winner, but it was not a fight to the death. I found that they were first found in Southeast Asia. They made their home in rice paddies and drainage ditches. They became accustomed to frequent rainfalls and devastating droughts, which made them adapt and become a labyrinth fish, which is when a fish can breathe oxygen straight from the air and also from their gills. Now that we've learned the history of betta fish, let's talk about the different types of betta fish. There are many different types, and I thought there was just one and some were bigger than the others. The most common is the veil tail. It has extended finnage and a non-symmetrical tail. The next one is the crown tail betta. It gets its name from looking like a crown. There are three different types of crown tails: the single ray, double ray, and cross ray. The cross ray is the most beautiful type, but is also hard to take care of and find. The next one is the half moon betta. It is 180 degree the tail is, and it's a D shape. And it's very hard to breed these because they cannot wrap their bodies around the other fish. Next one is my favorite, the rose tail. It's a mutation of the half moon. It just has extra finnage, so it overlaps and looks like petals from a flower. The next one is the bouquet. It's often mistaken for a female betta because of its short tail, but it also has vibrant colors. And the next one is the elephant ear. It gets its name from looking like an elephant ear because it's so big. It's kind of like the half moon, but it goes almost all the way around its body. The last one is the spade tail. You can recognize this fish from its tail being wide at the body and coming to a point at the end of its tail. Now that we've learned all the different types, let's learn some facts. They're also known as the Siamese fighting fish because they are so territorial. The male bettas cannot be put together because they will try and kill each other, but female bettas can be put together if the tank is big enough. Males will flare their gills if they feel threatened or if they like a female. And both sexes will display horizontal bars if they feel stressed or frightened. They all have upturned mouths because they primarily feed on the water's surface, and their diet consists of dried bloodworms and brine shrimp. When the male is ready to mate, he will make a bubble nest. The male will take care of the eggs. He will go pick them up and put them in the bubble nest. And if you do not separate the female, then she will eat the eggs. Now that we've learned a lot about betta fish, let's recap and go over what we learned throughout the whole slide. So, first we talked about the history and where their name came from. Next, we talked about the different types, including my favorite type, the rose tail. And lastly, we learned about some facts, like what happens to their bodies when they are stressed. I hope you learned something new about betta fish, and will remember next time you get a betta fish.